That looks good. Is it near Keebler? It looks like it might be.
Mhm.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. I never really noticed that. That is
Mhm.
very funny.
Yes, well,
Right. Well, I do think we're live on the YouTube. So
oh,
what we'll do,
fan-
Mike, is have you lead the sing along for our opening theme song to the ApocaLips comedy show. So follow the bouncing golden
come
ball.
on, everybody.
Come on, everybody.
It's time for the apocalypse. We invited all our friends, good friends like you. So come on, everybody. Come on, everybody. It's time for apocalypse.
It's time for
Well, folks, here are the nice people filing into the ApocaLips comedy show
Always love to see the lady in the red.
lineup today. Yeah, the lady in red is a
Paul
popular
Stewart is
person.
coming into the club.
Mo Vita, Chris Fonseca, Terri, Barton, Gregg are guest comedians on the show. Steve Young, Emily Cornelius are here. Mike Langworthy, your co-host. Tickets today. Don't forget, we pay your ticket fee. That's pretty fun. So no fees when you buy.
This is Jokalicious McNasty.
Right. And then
and our cashier.
Gladys, our cashier, always likes
Guinness
to
Book
thank.
of World Records holder Gladys.
Yep, two-timing fastest checker, fastest checker outer and fastest checker outer, if you know what we're saying there.
That's right.
Thanks to Stacey Sanders, as Rachel, we're thanking them every week. So don't forget balcony seating. Gladys will remind you, general admission, you're up in the balcony. So please pay attention to where you're seated. We have
a VIP seating comedian in the show tonight, from what I heard.
Right.
I'm not going to make any bold statements.
Right. Well, we do have the executive director of Elevating Connections here, one of our favorite charities, and I know it's a big day for them. Hi, Stacey Sanders. How are you?
Good, Chuck Roy. How are you?
I'm really well. Glad to see you.
You too, and glad to see everybody here. It is a good show tonight. Woo! Not as second before. This is a lineup, man.
Yeah, we're fun. We're fun. Stacey, can you tell us a little bit about Elevating Connections and the great work that you do?
Absolutely. We are happily celebrating 5 years since we were formed, and we're all about connection. We are about connecting siblings who've been separated in foster care with their. We can connect them with each other, with their community, and then we also work with older youth who have emancipated out of the foster care system without a permanent home and without connection. So we work with them to connect to their community through spoken word and voice and advocacy and art and comedy. This fall, we're adding into our programming. And so this year with the pandemic and us having to be so incredibly creative about how we connect with our youth, the power of connection has become much more clear to me about how important the work we do is. Siblings aren't able to spend as much time together because of the pandemic. They're not in the same homes, so there's, COVID concerns. And then we have older youth who aren't be able to connect because they can't go to the closed libraries to get on the internet and look for jobs or go to school or connect with us through writing workshops. So the elevating connections and the power of connection, so important to the work that we do. And so, and we're so lucky to have the support of Colorado Comedy Shows and Chuck Roy and all the fabulous comedians that show up every week and entertain.
Oh, well, we're glad to entertain you, Stacey, and we enjoy entertaining you, and we're glad that you join us. It's very fun.
I don't say thank you to Chuck often enough.
Right.
Because I'm selfish. I'll be honest with you. He deserves it. He deserves it, but I'll be damned if I'm going to give him the satisfaction.
Right. So let's just move on. We'll say happy birthday to Elevating Connections. 5 years.
Happy birthday.
That's so
Happy
exciting.
birthday.
A Rosh Hashanah birthday.
Happy
By the way, buddy, frosting. Just so you know, Chef Mark Scapone.
My favorite chef.
Yeah, don't forget, if you book things like a virtual birthday party with us or a corporate event, we donate 10% of that fee over to Elevating Connections. And that money is what Stacey's talking about, the money that's helped her pay phone bills or provide mobile technology or connecting events for the youth. And, you know, thanks to our popularity of our virtual event services and those donations to Stacey, we've had to expand. So we're bringing on a new team. This is our bartender, friend of Gladys, but again, it's sort of sketchy on her application. There's Chef Mark Scapone, always a bright smile. And I got to tell you, he pushes vegetables and fishes, a lot of omega-3 fatty. It's always said in an accent, and I get it. I love the African French accent, but I also like chocolate. I fucking love chocolate, chef. And I don't know if lettuce and watercress is my favorite thing, but I do appreciate.
Oh my God! And look at that. It's that alien from American Dad.
Right. We do have a new coffee shop open, and so you can grab a diner style food after the show in our virtual coffee shop. Gladys's second cousin, Phyllis, is the all-night waitress there, and she'll remind you, please do not disturb.
That's Phyllis Another Cup, by the way. Her last name is Another Cup.
Phyllis Another Cup, just a great young lady. And then there's Gladys's cousin. She works the back bar. So if you're ordering drinks in the balcony.
Her name is Ivana Chin. A lot of people know that about her.
Yeah, she hasn't smiled yet. Look, if you've got a birthday party coming up, something you want to celebrate, we've got function rooms for you. And this is my new private suite, so feel free to hang out with me, and we can do dancing. We also have fireworks display, so check that out. Anyway, we should get on to it. I believe Mike, way past 7 o'clock. Started way late.
I believe, the time's been well spent, though, Chuck.
I think so. Today,
like my mom always used to say, Chuck,
we want to take.
I don't know who your father is.
To our virtual leaf peeping episode. So VIP folks sit down in front, and then balcony folks upstairs. Blondie will take care of you.
Yep.
I see the curtain, and that means I know that the ApocaLips comedy show has begun. Thank you for that kind round of applause. You're a hot crowd tonight, I'll tell you that. You're so good.
I'm embarrassed again, Chuck. I seem to have left the house without putting my Golden Globe back in the vault.
Right, I see that there, Mike. I don't mind. I think it's shiny.
I know, but it just, I win so many awards. You'd think I would be secure enough not to bring them out and show them.
Right. Well, I understand, Mike. I'd like to win an award one day and possibly carry it around or leave it in obvious places.
You have,
in the meantime,
that could be coming sooner than you think.
I'll let you shine, my friend. And congratulations again on your Golden Globe. We congratulate you every week because I think it's getting cool.
It's like my mother always used to say, I gave up a career for you.
Right. Yeah. Just like my mother used to say, get a real job. Anyway, Mike, you know who loves your Golden Globe as well? It's our sponsors.
Our sponsors.
Today's
we have
show.
a sponsor that is, it couldn't be more timely, couldn't be more important right now. Plan to vote, please. Plan to vote. And don't just plan to vote. When it comes time to vote, vote.
Right. So make your plan to vote. Anytime we have a good sponsor, Mike likes to roll out his Ferrari and give it a couple of spins.
I do, absolutely.
We know you're down for this, Mike. Thanks for working with Plan to Vote. Please. You're
welcome.
Isn't that fun? Gang, Mike, look at you dropping in from the sky. Probably time to head over to the writer's room, Mike, every week if you're new to the ApocaLips comedy show.
Well, we just got to pick up the script for this week. Hey, wait a minute. What is that? Blocking the view.
Nothing blocking the view. We're streaming through this episode live on the YouTube. Crowd is showing up. Hot comedians, Mo, Vita, Steve, Young, Terri, Barton, Gregg, Chris Fonseca coming up. What couldn't be better than that, Mike, except that gorgeous view of the Rockies? Totally unobstructed.
Well, it would be if it wasn't being blocked by that fragile
Oh,
lamp. Oh, you know, I think it's your turn to be embarrassed, Chuck.
I can't believe that. Did I?
Oh, how
I
could we forget to take
last-
your Kennedy Center Award out of the writer's room before we start the show? Now it
Sorry,
looks like we
everybody.
put it there on purpose.
Sorry, everybody. I guess I left my Kennedy Center Award for innovative teaching right there.
Yeah.
In
No, that's not a Kennedy Center. That's the Kennedy Center, by the way.
right, right,
The one that's in Washington, D.C.
right.
The
Mike,
one with the memorial bullet holes in the side, just for the Kennedy families who died by gunfire.
yeah.
Um,
Got to tell you, Mike, that building whiter than Trump Tower. Who knew?
uh-huh.
Only the Kennedys could pull that on.
Yeah.
Uh,
But they're
what
Catholics, so they're not really white.
is there's a
Yeah.
short bridge to the next jump, and we're going to want to get all the way across it. That was just a quick reference. Mike, what we're looking at, my friend, is where I want to take everybody today. We got to get over to New Hampshire to do some virtual leaf peeping.
Oh, that's, you know what? It's
It's
that time of year. We used to grow up watching the leaves change in the lower part of the Upper Peninsula. And sometimes if we got an early start, we'd go to the Upper Peninsula and we'd see the leaves change up there.
right.
It's just a beautiful thing.
How many people have been leaf peeping? There's a few of us here tonight. Terry's been.
Virtual hand raise.
Okay.
Chris Fonseca.
Yep.
Right.
I have.
This leaf guy.
And then Ian, we'll find out. We'll find out if Ian has ever been a leaf peeper. So leaf peeping is the leaves change the color. The maple leaves up in New Hampshire change to beautiful colors. And
What is this town that we're
what
starting?
you're looking at right there, Mike, is Hampton Beach, New Hampshire. If we're gonna
Oh my
get
God,
to New
yeah.
Hampshire in the fall, we should visit some of the 14 miles of Atlantic coastline that New Hampshire owns
Absolutely.
and possesses. Some of the greatest beaches you probably never vacation to, and if you
Some
really
of the
like
best-
cold water, then my God,
That's some
it's
of the
amazing.
best frozen sand that's open to the public 14 days a year.
If you've ever wanted to step into ocean water and chew on your balls because they've jumped into your throat at how cold the water is, Hampton Beach is the spot for you, Mike.
Oh yeah.
Right there, Blake's fried dough. Oh God, Mike.
Yep,
Sal's pizza, the old-fashioned lemonade. It just smells so good and tastes
as they
delicious.
say, it blinks. Yeah, it's DOE. What are you, a cop?
Right. Yeah. You know, also we need weed.
Spell it
So
right
we're
if we
gonna stop
felt
by
like
Blake's
it.
fried dough and then pop over to the lemonade stand. I can't tell you which one has the better weed, but either way, we're gonna cruise through
Little Saltbox house. That
we wanna-
belongs-
right. Whose house, Mike?
I don't know, but I'm going to guess it's somebody in New Hampshire.
General John Stark.
Oh yeah, John Stark.
General John Stark is
Absolutely. The
the-
Iron Man. A lot of people don't know that the Iron Man actually comes from New Hampshire.
right. General John Stark is not the Iron Man, Mike. He's the guy who said,
Oh.
"Live free or die." An American
Ah.
Revolutionary War general. That's his house. It's there in New Hampshire, and a terrific
Mhm.
site to see. Located on Route 111 in Terri, New Hampshire. Just gorgeous.
You would think getting in on the graph that early, he would have made more money.
Right, Mike, what we're going to want to do now is cruise
Mm-hmm.
up the Kangamangas Highway. Say that with me, everybody.
A mouthful.
Kangamangas.
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 Oh, that's a great highway. Mike, it's one of the
Um,
most beautiful highways in New England during the leaf
Yeah.
peeping season. And I can't believe we've hit it with no traffic.
Oh, yeah.
Feel
You
free to-
can't? Oh, you really can't? Is there a lot of traffic during leaf peeping season?
Yes, Mike. Oh, God, Mike.
Oh,
All,
my
all
God.
12 cars. New Hampshire.
The entire state is out. right?
Oh, everybody goes to visit the 14 travelers that come through, and we marvel at the 7 cars
Oh,
lined up one right after another. And you'll see beautiful sights like this. Just take in the colors, everyone.
A lot of people
Absolutely.
don't know, but right here, you're seeing a lot of oak trees turning into Christmas trees because what we used to call it in Michigan is the changing of the leaves.
Right,
We didn't call it leaf peeping. We called it the changing of the leaves.
right. That's because Michigan people are boring, Mike. Leaf peeping sounds like fun. Like the leaves are hiding in their underwears, and you got to go around and be like, leaves, ooh, I saw you.
We may be boring, but we didn't call our favorite tourist attraction after some form of sexual intervention in another person's life unwillingly.
Right, you didn't vote right in the last election either. Anyway, Mike, look, not you personally. I don't mean to throw vibes like that at you,
Yeah, well,
buddy.
I vote in Colorado now because it's the 21st century. I'm sure you
Right.
still have your New Hampshire voting card on you.
Mike, I vote in New Hampshire, California, Colorado, and
So that's why weed is rapidly becoming legal, thanks to Chuck Norris.
right. Yeah,
And
so many states.
marriage between men is now legal in many, many states.
Gay marriage and weed is legal in a lot of states.
Vote
Chuck
once,
actually
vote
takes a
twice.
bus very much like this, only painted in rainbow colors all around the country.
Right, I think
Voting on marriage equality.
you've told us what our pride float is going to be, Mike. Right, that's beautiful Lake Winnipesaukee. And that's
Yes.
the best thing about the Colorado Comedy Show's tour bus is it's definitely able to float across water. And just a few more stops here, Mike. The Old Man on the Mountain. Oh, as a kid, I used to love
Oh,
going
yeah,
to
it
see
looks
the
like
Old
an
Man
old
on the
man.
Mountain.
See,
and-
if you look on the extreme left, see how he opens his mouth?
and he talks a
And
little.
move
Mhm.
his jaw just a little bit. He's literally the original granite-jawed New Hampshire resident.
I just want him to talk. I don't know what he's gonna. I want him to be like, hey.
I know you want everybody to be like, hey.
Hey, girl.
Hey,
This
girl,
is Old
hey.
Man on the Mountain, and I'm here to tell you about the back of the New
Yeah.
Hampshire border.
Come on up to New Hampshire. Oh my God. Concord is off the chain.
If you've ever voted in Dixville Notch, it
Yeah,
is off the hook.
My entire Jane Austen reading group is going to be spending the winter in Montpelier, over in Vermont.
Right. Mike, tell us about your Jane Austen reading book club real quick.
Oh well.
Were you elected vice
But
president?
actually we read Nora Roberts books, but we dress like Jane Austen while we're doing it.
Forgive me if I'm wrong. Were you elected club secretary or treasurer? I forget.
I was a secretary / treasurer,
Right.
meaning I was going to be the treasurer, but then I cut the treasurer, so they made me the secretary.
Right.
And this would be where you make maple syrup. I
Sugar
assume?
Shack. I got it. If we're in New Hampshire, we're gonna have to visit a maple sugar shack. Everybody, let's drop the bus off here. We'll take you over and we'll learn how maple syrup is made. Everybody, right there. Those are the cans. They put the bucket. That's it. That's
June
maple syrup farming.
June
right there.
23rd every year, the running of the staff begins.
Right. This is why maple syrup farmers are alcoholics. Right. My dad's a dairy farmer, and then there's maple syrup farmers in the family, and that's the side that carries gout. And that's because maple syrup farming. That's all you do. You go in. You tap a hole. That's the hole in the tree. Maple syrup farmers are good at tapping a hole. Thank you. And then the next thing you do is find that bucket, and when it's full, you empty the bucket. So then, Mike, I'll take you through. Here's the next biggest transition in maple syrup farming. They got the O's right there, and that's French. I'm teaching you the French, everybody. The French.
Isn't that French for hose?
Right, that is French. Mike, your French is votre français.
Oh.
C'est très bien, Michel.
I spent a très jolie time in Montpelier
Right. So
during the winter learning how to say O's.
right. So somebody, right.
And let's tap.
Banging all them O's, huh? So, you gotta, somebody figured out this is the second evolution in maple syrup farming. Somebody was like, hey, emptying the bucket is too much work. It interrupts drinking. So they invented these little hoses which take the sap over to
Yep.
Now,
This is the world's first snowmobile.
Mike, this is the third invention. Now, you see the snowmobile. The third invention or major innovation in maple syrup farming is somebody needed to invent a red or orange flag. And this is an example of, here's a hose that doesn't have its flag. What could happen should somebody be on their skidoo and
Whoa, hello.
cruising along, and they sort of,
That is how the legend of the Headless Horseman began.
right.
The legend of the Headless Snowmobile.
Skidooing, and then what could happen is the skidoo goes on and you don't. So that could just be, oh God.
Oh my God.
Terrible.
That's a red flag.
How to get ahead in the maple syrup business.
Right. So that is the basics of evolutions in maple syrup farming, Mike.
Well, I see that we've decided to break our no comedians with 3 names rule this week.
Right. We have, Mike. We've brought a popular comedian back to the ApocaLips comedy show. Ladies and gentlemen, would you please welcome Terri, Barton, Gregg.
Barton, Gregg, ladies
Hey
and
team,
gentlemen.
how are ya?
Hey.
How are ya? Lashana Tova.
Gesundheit.
Happy New Year.
Oh,
And having Rosh Hashanah during the excuse me, Mike.
nothing.
During the apocalypse, during the pandemic is a little iffy. It's just a little crazy considering that, instead of getting the entire full course, you only get a side of guilt. That was for the Jews. So I was talking to my girlfriend the other day, and she was trying to one-up me as usual. And she said, I'm dating a pro bull rider. And I said, well, I married a pro bullshitter. You try and hang on to his shit for 8 seconds. I just got his call the other day from some creepster, and he called me, he goes, what are you wearing? I said, on my husband's nerves. I said, I'm going to make your life a living hell. And I said, no, thanks, I'm married. I got stopped by the popo the other day. And the police officer walks up to me and walks up the car, and he said, excuse me, ma'am, didn't you see that red light? And I said, sir, officer, I don't see color. So, I have to tell you, I am so woke, I need a goddamn nap. I do. I did a private show the other day, corporate show. I don't want to brag. In my shower, my COVID-proof room, my shower, for my 2 Portuguese water dog assholes. They catcalled me, they heckled me, they howled. I think Sherby made it rain liver snaps. I think you tried to put my eye out, as a matter of fact. But on the comment card, Gypsy gave me 2 paws down. It was a really rough crowd. And then their 2-drink minimum, they took out of the toilet bowl, and then they refused to pay. First of all, second, I did a tight 30. And that little bastard Sherman said I didn't have anything tight. Got nothing. So do you ever come home and your dog sniffs you like you've been cheating on him? My dog Sherman sniffs me like I sniffed my husband. And we can both smell another bitch from 100 miles away. The next time he leaves, I'm just gonna mark him.
Oh,
So I'm gonna be a grandma again. My daughter's having another baby. And for the last year, yay! So my granddaughter for the last year has been telling everybody that she already has a baby sister. And I said, well, where do you keep her? And she goes, in the basement. What if she puts the lotion on or gets the hose again? I'm not really sure about that one. And I was talking to her and I said, Lucy, I said, we're playing 2 truths and a lie. Mike, do you know what that is?
no.
2 truths and a lie is a game that you play. You say 3 statements, 2 are true and 1's a lie. So little kids know what a lie is. So she said 3 statements. 1 was obviously true. 1 was obviously a lie. And the 3rd one was a little iffy. I said, Lucy, was that a little white lie? And she said, Ema, Black Lives Matter.
Yay.
So I said to her, I said, Lucy, I said, you know, since you're going to have a little baby sister, I said, should we give the baby your bedroom set because it's already got like a junior bed and it's got the crib, and should even get you a new bedroom set? And she goes, all right, I'll take the new. My husband isn't Jewish. My son-in-law is not Jewish, but I'll tell you what, the guilt came right through. Came right on through for sure. Well, you know what? I have to tell you guys, this has been a lot of fun. Haven't done this for a long time, but I have had a really, really good time. Thank you guys for having me back.
Oh, yeah. Anytime. Terri, Barton, Gregg, ladies and gentlemen. Terri Barton, big friend of.
I can tell another one.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Hey, in high school, we put the high in high school.
Like my mom always used to tell me. I gave up a career for
Terri,
you.
that was very fun, very fun.
Thank
We
you.
got a bunch of great guests on the show tonight, everybody, watching on the YouTube and such. I hope you enjoy this next act. For the sake of fun, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome
No, Chuck, no.
Chris Fonseca.
How you doing, everybody? Hanging in there?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been bored, so I've been trying to pick up women online. I thought I had one on the hook on Tinder, but I think I pissed her off when she asked me what my sign was, and I said disabled parking. Yeah, it never really works out for me dating online. I started talking to an EMT, and then she never texted me back. First responder, my ass. I am getting ready to do shows in Colorado Springs this weekend. That'll be interesting. Going to stay at a motel again. The last motel I stayed at was really fancy. They had a sign in the bathroom that said, please do not steal the towels. Ooh. I stole the sign. That'll fuck up their inventory. I have been trying to figure out alternate streams of income. For a minute, I tried to be a police sketch artist. Ooh.
That seems sketchy.
Yeah, I got fired. They were arresting too many stick people. Hard to keep them in handcuffs. I also tried to start a moving company.
Yeah.
I named my moving company Same Shit, Different Place. I also wanted to do a commercial because as a non-drinker, I sometimes drink non-alcoholic beer, and the commercial would be like this. I don't always drink old tools, but when I do, I fuck ugly women on purpose. Stay horny, my friend. Yeah, I didn't realize the summer went by so quickly. I was remembering previous summers with my kids. I remember one time my ex-wife was really pissed at me because I took my kids to a Brazilian wax museum. I thought it would be educational. Another time, I took my kids on 4th of July to do something very American.
Mhm.
I took them to Mexico. It's hotter than hell in Mexico. Hotter than hell, and everybody's selling blankets. Hello? Maybe that's why your country's in poverty. When you cross the border into Mexico, you have to pay 25 cents a quarter. Ooh. I tried to cheat. I went right up to the border and I said, "Can I just see if my friend is in there?" It worked. I got a free blanket.
Ah!
I remember the wise words of my grandpa. My grandpa would always say to me, "If all your friends jumped off a bridge, who the fuck would push you home?" That's all I got. Thank you.
All right.
Fonseca! Come on.
Chris Fonseca, that was very fun.
Joseph tried that with Jesus, you know. He didn't know he was Jesus, you know, and he'd say, you know, I went down to the well and I got a little drunk. My friends would say, wouldn't it be great? Wouldn't it be great if you could turn this water into wine, Jesus? And I did. So, you know, they made me do it. I said, oh, really? They made you, Jesus? What if all your friends jumped off a bridge? Huh? Would they make you jump off a bridge? I said, yeah, they did. And I jumped off the bridge. I didn't even get my feet wet. What's going on, man? But it's like my mom always used to say, Chuck. You ruined my Bob.
You were adopted.
She did say, I like your sister better. She did say I wasn't actually her child. I don't know how she worked that out. Or you know, if I'd heard it from my father, I would have believed it, but it just seemed counterintuitive somehow. I don't know a lot about sexual reproduction, believe me.
Right. I heard she told the nuns at your Catholic school that you were left-handed, even though you're righty.
Yeah,
She just wanted you to
they
get
were amazed at how quickly I picked up the proper kind of handwriting. They were amazed.
right, right. And you could handle the priest with both hands. Ladies and gentlemen, if we are making jokes that are making somebody roll her eyes and moan, it must be time for the very funny comedy of Miss Emily Cornelius.
Oh, good. She's going to do the funny comedy this week. Yay!
Oh. Yeah. In accordance with this week's theme, I want to share something that my mom always used to say: leave. I gotta be honest, I did treat this week's theme similarly to how I treated this year's leaf peeping and every year's leaf peeping. I got high and was like, oh, this is, it's too late. I always miss it. I got high and I'm trying some new weed. I'll be honest, it does, it surprised me. It works just like all other weed, and I'm high. Speaking of a high note, I hear next year's supposed to start off with a bang, a civil war. And if that is true, then we don't have Abraham Lincoln. We have Donald Trump. So Donald Trump is Abraham Lincoln. Mm-hmm. And I am going to have to move to Washington, D.C. to pursue acting. Although I'm not completely certain that Donald Trump is a theater kind of guy. I don't know what kind of plays he'd go to see. He does seem more like a strip club kind of dude. So I'm also considering becoming a dancer with a concealed carry. While it is still legal, I do want to take this opportunity to talk about my mental health and my uterus. In April, tested positive for needing a therapist. We're not quite sure if if my parents gave it to me or if I picked it up from an ex. So, the last 2 sessions, my therapist has asked if I maybe wanted to see her more than once a week, which I think is very nice. I'm flattered, honestly. I think she likes me, but we've crossed a line there. I'm 25. The other day, I was talking to my mom on the phone, and I was thinking, what was my mom doing when she was my age? My dad. I'm getting to be about the age that everybody's getting married and settling down. I'm going to be at my best friend's wedding. And on Facebook, I saw the other day the first guy that ever touched my boobs is getting married. And I'm super excited for my Uncle Bill. But I could have gotten a text first, right? It's fine. He's still single, and he's also still out of my league. I know that I said that I'm 25. That being said, I don't really identify with the Gen Z part of the population. I think I am a millennial. I remember 9/11. I know what dial-up sounds like, but I don't know anybody who ate a Tide Pod. And in the same vein, I do believe that, and I think I can say this, I think I'm in older company, so you all probably will understand this, but I think pet rocks were just training crystals. And your rose quartz is really nice, but I don't mean to sound like a boomer, but I don't want something else to charge. I want to take this opportunity to finish off with an impression. Do you guys like impressions?
Love them.
Yeah. This one is going to be an impression of my sanity during this whole year. So have a good night.
Okay, well,
Emily Cornelius.
thank you.
Nice job, Emily Cornelius.
Yeah.
Good
I
job.
thought that was an impression of a boomer forgetting where he left his table.
Right.
As the resident boomer here.
Well, we've already had some funny acts, Mike. During our show, we do like to take a pause, just a moment, to clue our YouTube viewers in on some of the fun activities that go on here. Like say on Monday nights, what goes on Monday nights, Mike? Is there anything for people to do?
Well, I do a little thing I like to call an open mic.
Wow, what's an open mic?
I not only like to call it an open mic, I like to call it the open mic because my name is Mike. And that's why that's incredibly fun. Oh my God. Sometimes I say that and I can't even talk for a couple of minutes.
Wow, the comedy just starts right in the title.
It starts in the and it just goes on from there,
For sure.
And then the laughs start when the other people start talking. Woo, man, can't. You have to listen to me for a while, but then the other comics come in and woo, boy, man, that is, whoo.
I seem a little sarcastic, Mike, but the comics come from around the globe, don't they? And it's a chance for new people to try comedy.
Yes, we have actually been banned from using comedians that were native to the United States. So
right. They call that the Alabama.
America's loss has been our gain. Say. Yeah, well, we're still able to use people from Alabama because they've never really been claimed by the post Civil War United States.
Why, Mike? Just like this show broadcast on YouTube.
I'm sorry. What?
Colorado comedy shows. Open mic is the first show we started streaming on YouTube. So folks can go to our YouTube channel and watch old episodes. They're terrific. Or check out the newest live stream. Very fun.
Terrific. And finally got Chuck to put some of my participation in the shows on the videos. So I'm kind of looking forward to them going forward. As opposed to just a frozen picture of me and a lot of other people being funny. I thought that was a little bit hurtful, but it's it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because
I try not to hurt you. Coming up soon, Mike, will be the virtual pub theater battles. That's going to happen in October. A very fun show. So stay tuned for all those very fun shows. Mike, you're jumping around today.
Pretending to be drunk is one of my favorite things to do.
Next week is the history of beer and comedy. Since speaking of drunks, I like to tell jokes and I like to drink beer while I tell jokes.
Hey, Chuck, we should tell the audience, drink up. The more you drink, wait for this. The more you drink, the funnier we get.
Right? That's
the more they drink, the funnier we. Because when they're drunk, their standards get lower. Get what I mean? You see what I'm saying?
Ease up, Mike, because I think the laugh boat has already set sail.
Well, it's made my dreams come true. I can tell you that.
Right. Coming up in October, we're going to do a Love Boat parody called Laugh Boat. That's going to be very fun. New Year's Eve, we're going to do a show. New Year's Eve. Stay tuned for all that. Mike, why do people love coming to our shows? Because we give away cool gifts.
Absolutely. Because we're not afraid to show people picking their nose. It's a thing we'll do.
Right. Mike, you got to keep all the nostrils clean. What happens if we have a joke that flies out your nose? You want to make sure that passageway.
That woman there is Nostradamus. I don't know if you knew that.
Might be the best joke of the show. Might be the best joke of the show. Mike, today's VIP prize goes to people like Stacey Sanders. And, who doesn't love Niagara Falls? Especially the American side and looking over at the Canadian side. And then doesn't everybody, so VIPs, this is for you. You get to travel over Niagara Falls in a barrel. Imagine.
I'm traveling over on the back of a barrel.
Right, Mike is on top of the barrel to keep you safe. You're inside the barrel. Just feel the excitement, everybody. Here we go.
There to make sure that you get out at the bottom of the falls.
Right.
Stand
Watch
on the
the
shore
rocks.
and look at Toronto and understand what Cincinnati would look like if it thought it was Paris.
For sure. And whoa, that was quite the ride over Niagara Falls. So I hope you enjoyed that. VIPs, you also win this. You get to just
Dead
take a nap
dog.
with this puppy.
Aw.
Yep, that's it. Just imagine next time you're taking a nap, you get to nap with that little puppy.
Yep.
And
The rumor's not true. That dog is alive.
Chef Mark Scapone sent pancakes for you all. So pancakes, a little caramel maple syrup sauce.
They're a little fruity, don't you think?
He's got some pecan on there, and you know, I would prefer much more maple syrup, but no matter what you tell
wrong
him,
with you preferring much more fruit. I don't
right?
I don't know. It's just
You know, I like a lot of fruit, Mike, and
I'm sorry, what?
I said I like a lot of fruit. General admission members, I know our VIP guests, you know,
Nobody
really,
goes home empty-handed, Chuck.
nobody goes home empty-handed. We have a cool prize for our VIP or general admission guests. Up in the balcony, you all get your own horse track. Why not, right? It's not like it's busy. So this week you get your own horse racing track, and to match, you get this cool glue factory. So, either way.
Yep.
Purina plant.
Where you get it? It's a Purina plant.
No, it's a glue factory. You know,
Same
I
to same.
heard somebody call it. a Purina
Hand to
thing.
mouth,
My
hand to
gosh.
foot.
if
That's
they
the
don't
fun.
win here, they win for you here. Okay.
The can't lose proposition. It's also
Right.
kind of a
No
sticky
bones
thing.
about it.
Right. And Mike, you know what's a win-win proposition is when we have time to talk about one of the best charities in all of Colorado, a group that we really enjoy and love to hear from. Ladies and gentlemen, Stacy Sanders is here, Executive Director of Elevating Connections. Yay!
Well, thank you.
Stacy, do you want to tell the nice kids watching on the YouTube about your terrific charity and how they can donate and such?
You know, I would. It's weird. Thank you, Chuck. So, Elevating Connections. As I said at the top of the show, we are celebrating our 5th birthday. And because of that, I'm in a super reflective mood about where we've been in the last 5 years and where we're going. Because our annual fundraising event, which is not a dinner because COVID, is on October 16th. So we're still celebrating our birthday. And when I think about everything we've accomplished in the last 5 years and all the folks that have helped us reunite more siblings separated in foster care, because that's the thing. They suffer abuse and neglect at the hands of their parents, and then they're separated for a variety of reasons. And when we started 5 years ago, we had a handful of people that were on board with our mission and thinking, hey, this is great. And we had like $2,000 in the bank, and that's what we started with. Fast forward 5 years, and we have some amazing people that have come on board to help reunite siblings separated in foster care, to give opportunities to older youth to speak their truth through art, comedy, song, spoken word, connect them with technology. And some of those amazing people, one of my angels on earth is Chuck Roy in Colorado Comedy Shows. Yep, Chuck. Yeah, it's you, friend. He found us a year ago and emceed my annual dinner last year. And why I'm telling this story is because, one, he's helped us raise more money in the last 6 months than anybody else has helped us raise. Our poetry jam that we had in June, the most successful one we've ever had, thanks to Chuck, who produced the show.
Poetry,
Yeah,
No reason to it.
right?
Yeah,
Right.
not a small deal. And so it's all about connection and bringing people together and sharing a mission and sharing a purpose. And what all of this has done is allowed me, and I don't mind saying I'm currently the unpaid executive director of Elevating Connections.
We're going to change that.
It's given us some funds to continue programming for the people who need it. So Chuck and Colorado Comedy Shows and the virtual corporate events that get booked paid for our last connecting event for 10 siblings to spend the day together in person at the park with my volunteers. And we've got another one coming up in October, and just started working on another event for November and December that Chuck doesn't even know about yet. So we've got stuff. And as I reflect, and then I'm going to go, well, I'm not going to go anywhere. I'm just going to hand it back to you. But as I reflect on 5 years and then where we're going, connection is at the core of everything we do, and cannot do it without the community that has so embraced our mission and the kids that I serve. So stay tuned, because ticket sales have opened officially as like an hour ago for our dinner, our annual event. So,
Yeah.
Right. So tickets to celebrate are on sale. I'll do my best to add that sort of information in the YouTube description down below as it becomes available. But one thing you can do, everybody, is just go right to Stacey's website, and this works. You go to her website and just donate direct there. You know, that's a one great way to have an impact. So nice job, Stacey. I'm glad.
Thank you, everybody.
Time to talk about. It's really important what you do, and it's important that you know, the youth know that people like us are out there thinking of them. So
Yeah.
I think
Can
that's
I just say one thing? It's just, before we get into the Dear Comics at the Bar, it is crazy that the system works in a way that people allegedly graduate. I don't think that's the right word at all, but they age out of the foster system, and suddenly they're 18 years old. They don't have a foster family, and they don't have their regular family because they got taken away from their regular family. And so they're homeless for all practical purposes.
Yeah, you know, that will interrupt it. They come with the challenges of being homeless at times, and the money that Stacey, you know, asked us to, or we both work together to raise, provides the mobile connection. Stacey helps and another charity helps them pay the phone bills. Those are the people we want in charge of knowing the phone bill needs to be paid, how to get the phone bill paid, who the person is, what kind of help they need. This is awesome, direct impact. It does good things. And one of the best things it does is it tells those kids other people are thinking of them. And when we help them put on their poetry jam, it reminds them that their voice is important, their art, whatever they want to share, it matters to us and future audiences. So I know we got a little ranty today, but it, you know, it helps. People hear about it, and then you can see how Mike and I learn. And yeah, it's true. What can you do? Sometimes only, and Stacey, I'll ask you this, right? Sometimes only, you know, one foster parent is available, and there's siblings.
Right.
So the best case scenario is splitting the youth up. Nobody wants to do it.
No.
But a foster parent taking on 3 siblings, that is the challenge. So is that what happens to sort of, and Mike, I'm going to let you wrap it up, you know, but Stacey, is that how that happens?
Yeah, that's the biggest reason for separation, is there's just not enough homes that are big enough to handle some of the largest sibling groups.
So yeah, those of you who have siblings, just think about what that would be like. Just think about what that would be like. And you know, it's not a, you know, in my situation, the other children in the family got together and petitioned the state to say maybe a foster thing, we wouldn't have to live with Mike, and it would be
right.
Be a good thing.
But they were connected with each other, Mike, and that's what matters.
Bad situation. I didn't hear what you said, Stacey, but I'm sure it was hurtful.
Right. So we got to humor, and challenge one of our favorite comedians to follow every week. We're like, Steve, we're gonna bum the audience.
This guy's so funny, it isn't even fair. That's the thing. It isn't even fair. It's
right. Watch Dear Comics on Instagram. You'll see folks like Terri, Barton, Gregg, or Emily, Cornelius, or myself. Mo Vida, our headliner, has been on that show. It's very fun to watch people laugh and drink beer, and you get cool beer reviews. And then if you ever see his show live, you're going to love Stephen Young, ladies and gentlemen. Please enjoy the funny comedy of Stephen Young.
Thank you.
Pandemic.
Thank you. Chuck, you said it got a little ranty. Well, buckle up, because here we go.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
gotta set you up, man. We set up the pins, you knock them down, baby.
And this is unusual but true. This never happened before, but my wife wanted to help me tell one of my jokes tonight. It was important to her, so listen for that. This is going to be a weird one. And look, I mean, I get it. I'm a sort of a waspy guy. I mean, I've got oil paintings in my study. You know, I wore baby loafers when I was a child, but I went all out on Rosh Hashanah this year, man, right? Because the year ended this weekend, right? That year is over. So long, 5780. You sucked. I mean, you're out there with the year of the frogs and the locusts and the what there were 8 more. I don't have time, or I'd go into them.
Lice was one.
Lice was one. So 5781, feeling very good. There's going to be new people in charge of stuff. People are going to walk around, you know, if they cough, you know, people won't all hit the deck like it's a bank robbery. It's going to be a great year, is what I'm saying. So here's where I wanted to start, Chuck. You might have heard about this. You probably all heard about this. They decided in Texas to have a Trump boat parade. That's what they decided to do. And they said, you know what? We can make the news with this thing. And they were right. And then you know what else they said? They said, we can make it like the Spanish Armada. And again, they were right. They were right about that. I didn't even know they liked people who spoke Spanish, but there you go. And of course, it was like the Spanish Armada because the Spanish Armada was defeated. The Spanish Armada lost. The comparisons, though, drift apart a little bit in the reservoir, because in the Spanish Armada was defeated by Sir Francis Drake and clever nautical tactics and the heroism of British sailors, whereas the Trump boat parade was vanquished by a potent blend of water and morbid obesity. You don't want those 3 coming together because that's a problem.
Oh, man.
So here's a little history for you. There's going to be a little bit more. Here's some recent history. Our president was accused of sexual assault this week for the 26th time. The 26th time, and it was described in a manner that his supporters and he deny, but it was described in a manner consistent with what he confessed to on videotape. But I get it. 26 women, him, it's just a question. It's one of those simple, you know, he said.
They said.
She said.
That's 26. She
I want to go out and make a sandwich.
That would be the Earl of sandwich.
Yeah, and there you have it. So who are you going to believe? Who are you going to believe there? So fortunately, during that joke, I had time to make a donation to Jamie Harrison, who's running for the US Senate against Lindsey Graham in South Carolina. And people might say, well, why are you doing that? Why are you doing that, Steve? Well, first of all, he's a good man. And second of all, he's running against Lindsey Graham. So he could have been a plant or a mop, and I would have been in his corner. But Lindsey Graham, 5 years ago, said, no new Supreme Court justices in a year we're voting for president. This year, he says, we need a new Supreme Court justice in a year we're voting for president. People say, well, wait a minute. Lindsey Graham, how do you flip over like that? How do you take a completely opposite position? And I got to tell you, Lindsey Graham prides himself on his parade of views. He is able to change positions with alacrity. He can bend over
Oh my God.
backwards or forward. When the time requires it, he can take a wide stance on things. I guess what I'm trying to say is Lindsey Graham will not have his opinions closeted. Look, he's not even the worst enabler of our president. And I'm sorry to say it, Chuck. And I won't get ranty. I promise I won't get ranty. Not tonight.
Ranty.
Not tonight. I mean, look, the MyPillow guy has got the ear of the president. He wants the FDA to approve an ancient poisonous flower to cure COVID. And they might do it. And you're asking, well, why are they going to do that? And he says, well, look, I already got a celebrity endorsement, Socrates. So that's a history joke, and that's a good one. So I guess, and his other supporter, of course, the evangelical wing supporting him because they understand how Christianity works better than others who, you know, read the New Testament, stuff like that. But Jerry Falwell Jr. was the head of a Christian university, and he had to resign because it was discovered he liked to stand in the corner wearing a Speedo while a young man they met in a hotel pool cabana would have sex with his wife. Well, wait a minute. That's not that Christian, is it? Is that right? And it's true. I mean, look, Jerry Falwell Jr., he had a version of the Bible that says, when the pool boy is nailing your wife, turn her other cheek. So who are you going to... Lastly, and this is important, we need to vote. And wherever you are, Instagram Live or whatever this is, of course not. If it were, we'd have to give 10% to Donald Trump, and the rest to Larry Ellison. But no, we're on YouTube, darn it. And so the warning, you got to vote. And if you want to vote by mail, you can vote by mail. There's no fraud. Do it right. Vote once. That's what we do. But William Barr, the Attorney General, says, no, there are going to be millions of Chinese ballots mailed to people. He's wrong. He's wrong. But nevertheless, Chuck, I try to do a PSA every once in a while. I'm going to do a PSA on how you know if you have accidentally been mailed a fake Chinese ballot, because I have one here. And so the first, if this comes in the mail like this, you might see some Chinese characters on it. That's your first tip, that might be not a real ballot. The second tip is, it might not have your name on it. This one actually says King Ma. So I'm not a king. I don't have royalty in my blood, believe me. And then the last tip is the first choice, the first election I need to make on this, I need to darken the circle next to appetizer. So that is your tip when you don't have a real ballot mailed to you. To be fair, I am sure William Barr has seen millions of those, and I'm sure he's filled them all out. That's all I got. Thank you, guys. Happy New Year.
Stephen Young, ladies and gentlemen.
Young.
Stephen Young. Fair to say that.
Right. Just, I guess if you want to vote for Trump, you got to select the yellow tail. Right. What can you do? Mike, before we bring out your headliner, just want to show you where the guests of the ApocaLips have been staying.
Please.
So this is our poolside retreat in Fiji. So they have and you do too. If you're watching right now, you're a guest of our show, and feel free to imagine yourself staying right here. You choose pool, water, or ocean. You can decide. So feel free, take a dip in the pool or stay at the Empress. This is where we're putting up your headliner, Movita, because she's an Empress. So, we've got Mo in the, I can't tell you what room, but either way. I hope you enjoyed your stay at the Empress. And ladies and gentlemen, would you please welcome your terrific headliner, Miss Mo Vida.
Vida.
Hey.
How are you guys? Thank you for having me. What a great show. I have so much fun so far. And Stacy, wonderful, wonderful work in 5 years. That's great. So congratulations to you in Elevating Connections. That's important work. I was wondering why Steve has Mr. Howell from Gilligan's Island on his wall behind him, but we can unpack that later. That was great, Steve. I try not to be political, but it's so hard right now, right? It's just right. I love it. Jerry Falwell. I'm like, his last name literally is Falwell. Like, you know, he was not going to make it. But you know, Christians do love nailing things. So, anyhow, I'm embarrassed because I didn't realize the theme of the show when you asked me to do this, and I thought we were just going to watch Leif Sater, the comic. Imagine my embarrassment. I was like, oh, let me get out of his window. But anyhow, that was more a little inside baseball there. So happy COVID, everybody. Hope everyone's doing great, living our best lives on Zoom. This is pretty much how I'm feeling, just empty and white, very white, feeling very white these days.
Very
you know, a lot of Karens out there are upset. I get called Karen a lot, especially online. They're like, okay, Karen. And I guess that's supposed to hurt my feelings. But my name is Monica and I grew up in the 90s. So fuck you. Clinton era was not kind. But that was just one sexual harassment suit. I am surprised that Trump has so many people claiming sexual harassment on him, because I just figured he was such a narcissist. He just wants to like fuck himself and his daughter and he's done, you know, but I'm wrong. Anyhow, I did go into the TikTok rabbit hole during COVID, and you have all these, I don't know if anybody has looked at TikTok. It's very young people doing pranks on their parents and their grandparents. And then it's a lot of really gorgeous people who just happen to be doing synchronized dances. And, you know, these women with asses that are just so tight you could bounce a quarter off of it, you know. Meanwhile, I'm sitting there just shoving food into my face watching. And I too was going to lose weight because I was without a job for a while, and I'm like, I'm gonna work out. You know, they inspired me. They did. I was watching these videos, and then basically it just ended up being porn. You know, just watching, not doing. But I did watch a lot of porn, which might be I guess what disturbed me the most is the other day when I got on Pornhub and was like, oh, there's nothing new. That's yeah, I know, right? I've like come full circle to where I'm just watching cuddling videos now. Oh, look, it's a porn genre that says emotionally available man who knows how to fight fair. Who's divorced? Not me. All right. Yes, I am. Very so. Anyhow, it's weird. It feels like everybody just wants to complain about the tiniest things, which is interesting considering we're in a world pandemic and living in a Trumpster fire. But I also like the whole like mask thing, right? I'm like, first of all, I love wearing a mask. Are you kidding me? I am 46 years old. I would love to cover this shit up, you know? These look 25. Pulling a lot of tail with the mask on. It's when I take it off and they're like, oh. Not that that they won't have sex with me because the MILF porn genre, no, that's made my life hell. It is so, and people think it's a compliment. They're like, ooh, you've attracted a young guy. And I'm like, I haven't attracted him. He's been lied to, and he thinks I'm going to teach him things and give him snacks. I'm not. I'm yoga pants and binge watch something and fall asleep to my boxed wine. I especially love the men who are like, oh, I'm not wearing a mask. I'm not going to wear a mask. I can't breathe. And I'm like, well, judging by the views on the face sitting videos on Pornhub, you're fine wearing a mask. You can handle it. I'll stop getting so dirty. I have been taking care of my 80-year-old mother during COVID because I was like, fine, that's not how I want my inheritance. But here's the thing, she's an immigrant from Eastern Europe, okay? So she's like a complete hard ass. You know, she's like, the Nazis didn't get me, the flu bug's not gonna. But you learn things, like when you have an immigrant, which by the way, I think is hilarious when I tell people that I have, you know, my parents are immigrants, right? Because it's like, haha, plot twist, you guys forgot, they make us in this color too. I know. But anyhow, and when this first hit, I went grocery shopping for the both of us, and you know, she gave me her list, and of course, that was like the height of the toilet paper hoarding. So I called her from the store, and I said, "Listen, I hate to tell you, but none of this stuff that you have on your list do they have in the store." And she was just like, "That's what do you mean?" And I was like, I mean, the shelves look like the country you escaped. And I thought she was going to be like, oh, what a shame or whatever. And she goes, this is so stupid. You don't even need toilet paper. I'm sorry, what? I know you guys were on hard times. Pretty sure our assholes always needed toilet paper. They didn't, guys. They didn't. According to my mother, all you need is either newspaper or a big green leaf. Did you know that? A big green leaf. She's like, when I was a child, we would walk in woods and we would just find big green leaf. But it must be green and it must be big, otherwise. And I was like, oh, great. Okay, thanks. So I don't know when this all like ends soon, probably next year, just big green leaf. That's all you need, kids. I went to the doctor during COVID, and first of all, people were like, how could you go to the doctor? And I was like, why wouldn't I go to the doctor? It's much cleaner than a King Soopers, you know? One would hope. But she had the audacity to weigh me and then tell me that she's like, you're getting a little heavy. And I was like, bitch, I am getting ready. Okay, we don't know what's gonna happen. The Chinese might take us over. A year from now, these thighs are gonna save me when all I get is a rice bowl in between shifts of making iPhones. Like, you don't know. Win. I know that, but I'm making it to like the mid-level of this video game that we call Trump 2020. It's ridiculous. But I need to stop eating. I went for a walk the other day, and I thought somebody was following me, and then I realized my ass just needs a sports bra. But I'm not sure how much time I'm going to do. So I'll just, this is kind of my last thing. I am very sad because I lost friends during COVID, mainly from Facebook. That's where I unfriended most of them. Started with the conspiracy theorists, and I'm not talking about people who are like, you know, don't always trust the government. I'm talking about people with like tinfoil hats on, and they look normal, and then they start talking to you, and you're like, ooh. Didn't see that one coming. All right, aliens, really? You're pregnant by aliens. All right, I gotta go. So they got unfriended. Honestly, I also unfriended every single one of my friends who didn't know how to wash their hands. I'm in my 40s. Do you know how many people were on my timeline just being like, oh, you have to wash the back of your hands too? And I'm just like, what? Wet the tops of your hands. Are you kidding? And then I'm thinking of all these dinner parties they invited me to. And I'm like, oh, awesome. Just penis prints all over the food. That's what I've been eating for years at your house. So I unfriended them. And then my last one was, it was the category of men who thought sending me an unsolicited dick pic would make me feel better during quarantine. Don't get me wrong, I like a dick pic. If I'm gonna date you, I wanna know what I'm working with and if it's worth upping my numbers. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm very pragmatic. But to make me feel better, you know, it's ridiculous. And they have no self-awareness. They're like, you like a big dick? And I'm like, I mean, yeah, if you want to send me one as the next picture, that'd be great. What you got on file? But here's the thing, like, it's ridiculous. Because honestly, I don't. Like, I don't know. Some women do. I'm not going to judge, but that's fine if you love, if you love dick pics. That are dicks rather that are huge. I do not. I'm 46. I see a big dick. I'm like, that is a UTI waiting to happen. I only have a cul-de-sac down there. I don't have room. And then also they have the audacity to be like, well, I sent you a picture. You gonna send me a picture? I'm like, of what? And at first I just want to like grab the cat. But I don't have one. I'm gonna have to borrow one to eat my face when I die. And also, I'm like, we haven't been able to go to waxing salons for months. Like, what do you think? Like, I just have it at the ready. Like, look. So here's the thing. I have fat elbows. So I'm just like, can you see that? You pop that, you pop it. It looks good. It's ready to go, ladies. All right. Green, big leaf, and use your fat elbows. Thank you.
Oh, we learned today.
No, Chuck, I say it every week.
We learn
every week. You don't just laugh at the apocalypse. You learn.
Well, thank you.
Movita, unbelievable.
Right?
Monica,
Look at that.
Monica.
Just before we go, everybody, Chef Scapone has sent some maple syrup on snow. Just rare.
That takes me back.
Yeah.
It was urine and it was salt, but yeah. But it's pretty.
Not everybody joins a fraternity, Mike. Gang, we had a super fun show. Oh, great job. Also Terri, Barton, Gregg, Chris Fonseca, Emily Cornelius, Stephen Young crushed it. A super fun show. And Mike, you were funny too.
It's always true, but it never gets old hearing it.
Right. It never gets
yeah,
old.
Chuck, you did a great job tonight.
Right. Well, that was our virtual leaf peeping episode, everybody. I hope you enjoyed your trip to New Hampshire. And that's for darn sure. That's what we're going to do is walk you outside the club and get you into the neighborhood. Want to thank anybody and everybody who donated to Elevating Connections.
Yay!
Stacy, happy birthday.
Thank you.
Audience, both here and on the YouTube, and caution as you head through our exits, please social distancing, and then know as you get outside our neighborhood as it's going downhill just a little bit. So
yeah,
I want you to be careful.
Say
And
hi to Emily Cornelius.
right,
While you're out there.
I guess rocking the purple, and then here's our ice skater. She's got the moves, and I think there's also my rides here.
You know,
And I know when we see the guy in gold, it's time to end the YouTube because we're going to do our sing along. And YouTubers, you got to pay to play. That's just for our live audience here in the Zoom. So thank you so much on YouTube for watching the ApocaLips Comedy Show. Tune back next week. We'll see you.
thank